Hello, Miss Mahadevi. Aku TV. Miss Mahadevi, time is yours.
Hi. Hello. Is it audible?
Yes, yes, your voice is audible.
Okay, sorry. Wait, should
Can
I open my
yeah,
camera?
yeah, of course.
Really?
Yeah, sure.
Wait. But why nobody does it?
You may introduce yourself, and afterward you may directly share
Okay.
screen.
Hello.
Hi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, before we start our discussion tonight, let me introduce myself. My name is Mahadevi. Um, mm, let me just start. Uh, because this is my really first time joining this kind of discussion. Oh wait, how do you guys usually call it? Nightly speaking or what?
Weekly discussion. Weekly
Weekly
speaking.
discussion. Okay.
Yes.
So it's such an honor to be a part of weekly discussion. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not even sure what to do because what I've said, this is my really first time. So I need your help, guys, to guide this weekly discussion tonight. And yeah, can we start now? Should I? Okay. So our topic tonight is, well, you can read from the browser. It's identical with uh identical with feminist, right? But no, it's not all about that. But it's more like gender issues, okay? And so I'm gonna share my PowerPoint, okay? Can you guys see that? Oh,
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
okay, thank you. So let's start it. So it's all about gender issues tonight. So I don't know uh, what makes me choose this topic, but I don't know. I'm into this topic maybe. So yeah. So what do you know about gender? Can can we start the discussion like this?
Yeah,
Peter?
it's okay. It's up to you.
Okay. So anybody wants to answer? So it can be the definition of gender or anything you know about gender. Come on. Okay, we got some people. Okay, for the first speaker, I'll let you, Mr. Oh, should I call you Mr. or brother? Brother Ahmad Fatullah.
Oh yes, thank you. Anyway, can you see the participants who raising their hand in the participants
Yeah.
button? So perhaps you can see them. Uh, in my opinion about this kind of word, I suppose that gender is like labeling about kind of similar people. Seems like women they have the label to be like something feminine, and the male have the opposite label about them. So yeah, it's about labeling in my opinion.
Okay. Thank you. And I will keep the answer first. Okay, for the next speaker, I placed you. Wait a minute. Brother Eka.
Okay, thank you, Miss Madevi.
Brother.
I think gender is like the social construct that formed by people or by the environment or by a neighborhood to describe what you should do as a member of community. For example, like if a man should do this, man should do that, and man shouldn't do that. Or woman, for example, like when we talk about gender, so woman's job is in the kitchen, or woman's taking care of children, for example, like that. So gender is like the way people try to construct the social life, their social life, to maintain their community as the part of their purpose or their goal in their life. Maybe that's for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next, from brother Unggul. I place you.
Yes, exactly, brother. Okay. I just want to differentiate between sex and also gender, right? Yeah, we know that what has been described by Mr. Eka. But I just want to give an emphasizement that gender is having relation. It means two ways relation. The first is the social construction that is coming from bottom up, right? So what you should do and not. And the second is something like top down regulation that's coming from it's like an authority that they're defining, oh, you should do that and you shouldn't do that. And that is two ways of always in the singularity about the type of the social construction, right? Bottom up and top down. However, other than that, I think that uh, the broad level and the broad definition of gender is about a social role for man or woman. They can do it or not, or they are allowed to be like that or not. When we see the clear example in Thailand, there are 12 gender, 12 types, if I'm not wrong. Well, when you see in Indonesia, there is only two, men and women. That's all. And maybe that is my introduction. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And next, Sister Miju, Miju, I please you.
Okay, I think gender is a characterizations or a classifications for people's sexuality. Maybe in the past it's only about between the masculinity and the feminism, but I think in this day, in nowadays, it's not only about the differentiate between the feminism and masculinity, because I think there are so many kind of gender in these days, and I think it's depend on people's perception also.
Okay, yeah, those all are correct. And I guess you guys already knew that it's connected well with humans' role in society. Yeah, that is gender. It doesn't move. Can you see that? Does it move?
Yeah, yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
Okay,
I
thank you
can see
for.
it.
So yeah, gender refers to the characteristic of women, men, girls, that are socially constructed, and this is includes norms, behavior, rules associated with being a woman, man, girl, or boy, uh, and it's connected with a relationship with each other as a social construct. So I'm gonna simplify it. So it's about humans' roles in society. So gender is different from sex. A sex is, sex refers to the diversity in biological and psychological characteristic of human, but gender is more about the human roles. That's it. And next. So these are some definition from the expert and some different sources, and you can read by yourself if you want. Gender is included in appearance, clothing, attitude, personality, work inside and outside household, sexuality, family, and responsibilities. We're gonna skip this one. So this is a gender equality theory. So like what I've said, tonight we're gonna talk about all about gender issues. So we're not focusing on only feminists or toxic masculinities, but all of them. But I only put some points, like what you can see from this slide. So gender equality theory, uh, you can read by yourself. So this is these are not really important for a discussion tonight because we're gonna talk about your opinion and your uh, understanding about gender and how deep you know about it. So this is only for the material. Can you learn from it? By the way, this material, this is not the only material. So you can find everywhere. You can find from internet or everyone you want, guys. So this is the next question. what do you think about this theory? I mean, theory about gender equality, okay? So is gender equality necessary? So feel free to share your opinion, guys. Wait a minute. Okay, brother Ahmad Fatullah, I please you.
Wait. Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. In my opinion about these terms, I suppose that it would be refers to the meaning of the equality of access to do everything that they want in their life. Because in the past time, some uh, people seems like women, they don't have a well equality in the access to the equality of education, or maybe the equality in the several jobs in the daily life. So because of this consideration, I suppose that it refers to the access
He got some trouble with his connection.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's move to the next speaker. Okay, brother Sunshine, I please you.
This is really interesting to talk between two kind of theories, nurture and equilibrium. I'm far more interested in discussion about equilibrium since it is like the perfect definition and also the purpose why the feminism should be existed in the very first place. But something that I'd like to commend the most is that the perspective of the balance, because sometimes when the woman should do something like A and the man should do something like B, is balancing means that the opposite gender can do the same thing that have been done by others. Okay, sometimes the perspective of balance is doing something different. I mean, like you don't have to similarize all things to have a like equalizing definition. And sometimes it also become easy to manipulate since the perspective of balance can be brought to the purpose of some people. For example, for several people say that the balance that feminisms want to achieve or some women want to achieve is B. But for other, maybe the balance version that they want to pursue is like A more. So there is no, how to say, permanent or how to say, it's like something that unable to be changed from the perspective of balance. It keep evolving. At the same time, it is a good progress, um, but on the other hand, um, there is no flexible definition to what the balance itself can be also ambiguous in order to be implemented by several people. But all in all, I support the theory of equilibrium, even though there is something that needs to be clarified yeah, before. I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And next, brother Eka, I please you.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if gender equality is the theory. I think it's like a goals or the ideas situation that we're trying to achieve in the future. When we talk about gender equality, I think we can left feminism theory right in the behind because the first time gender equality came up as a idea, it came with feminism theory. So I think when women trying to develop themselves and then trying to how to say it, like trying to get their own justice. I think equality in here means that we are the woman trying to have the same access, the same chance, the same opportunity as a man can get. For example, like the first wave of feminism, they're trying to they ask for the rights to divorce because in the past women cannot divorce a man, even the men slap their cheeks, for example. And then after that, the second wave, we see that the second wave of feminism, they ask about the public part, like being politician, like being teacher, like being a driver, maybe. And then after that, after the modern era comes, the third feminism is trying to realize they are realize that men and women actually have different character. For example, men cannot feel anything about injustice. For men, injustice comes from their abstraction, from their imagination. And then woman, for woman, injustice comes within their body, for example, like that. And then it's coming with the theory about politics of difference. So we have to respect, we have to maintain, we have to provide the access to, for example, education and social life as for women and men. For example, like Sri Mulyani, she doesn't want to sign any budget if their department doesn't comes with gender, how to say it, like gender perspective for budget, etc., etc. I think gender equality is necessary because we have to make sure that everyone get their rights, everyone get their chance, as long as it's society because I think it's good when we are, how to say it, like we are maintaining balance in our society. I think that's for.
Okay, thank you. And then, oh, by the way, guys, you can have, an opposite point of view. Maybe you don't believe about gender equality. It's okay to say that. Just share your opinion. Yeah, feel free to say something. Okay, the next, Sister Mijo, I please you.
Okay, thank you for the time. I think gender equality is really necessary. Because when we talk about gender equality, it's all about the role of its gender. Like women have a role to do the all of the household role, like cleaning the house and cooking and so on and so forth. And when we talk about men, we always talk about like men should working, men should do business, or they should paid the, for all of his families. And I think uh that's not a right things, because I think everyone can do what they really want to do, whether it is a man or it is woman. I think whether man or woman have their own burden, because when we talk about women, if a woman is working or they are become a businesswoman, people would say that she is not a responsibility woman or not a responsibility mom because they don't take care of their kids, they don't take care of their families. But I think it's with being a businesswoman doesn't mean that you are unresponsibility with your families, because everyone can do what they want to do, and they have different kind of different different kind of form of love to their families. And for the man, I think there is something that is unfair, because when we are talking about getting raped, it's only about women. Like woman is, we often hear like woman is getting raped. When a man say that he is getting raped, nobody would believe him, because uh maybe anybody just say like, oh, you will like it, you will like it, but that's not the point. The point is he didn't want to do this, but a woman forced him to do this. I think gender equality is really important to fix all of these problems. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then next, the last speaker for this question, Brother Alexander, I bless you.
All right, thank you so much. Is my voice audible?
Yeah, it's audible.
All right, as what has been said by the previous speakers, I guess gender equality or gender issues in general doesn't emerge by itself. It's it has emerged because of first a social condition in which certain genders has been oppressed by either their social environment or social conditions or their relatives, etc. For example, and secondly, it's about the increase of awareness of certain people that want to voice this issue because they look at the gender's issue does matter for them, or on the other hand, they experience the oppression faced by um, gender problems. Therefore, because of those second reasons, gender issues or even gender equality as a conclusion, as a way out to their oppression emerge right now. Then currently we are talking about this because, as I said, there's still certain genders who are facing discriminations or expressions, oppressions, etc. Therefore, it's really a hot potato right now. Hence, I could say that this issue is really pivotal because, as far as I see, um, especially a woman, for example, they still face discrimination made by the environment. For example, they can't go to school. They most of them are raped, for example, in certain conditions. I just wrote that last year there's hundreds of cases related to sexual abuse faced by women. Looking at the situation, I guess gender issues or gender equality is really important right now to discuss and to tackle. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Well, wow. I only asked about the gender equality, and is it necessary? But you guys already talk about many things like about the discrimination, stereotype, subordination, and many others. Wow, so comprehensive. Nice. Okay, let's move to the next. So yeah, this is what you guys already talk about, the gender inequality and discrimination. So gaps and inequality or injustice as a result of the social structural system of a woman and a man are victims of the system. Gender inequality in various lives is more experienced by the women, but also affects men. For this case, we also have like toxic masculinity and many others. We're gonna talk about it after this. So this is the forms of gender inequality due to the discrimination. Like what you can read: marginalization, subordination, stereotype, and violence. Yeah, this is really often experienced by the people around the world, and especially in Indonesia. Well, not especially, actually, everywhere. So let's talk a little about marginalization. So this is a process, attitudes, behavior of the people as well as state police that result in the exclusion or harassment of women or men. So marginalization is something like force or define something for which one is for men or the women, something like that. And the second is subordination, belief that one gender is considered more important than other or higher than the other one. And the next stereotype, this one is really often found in Indonesia. So stereotype is a labeling that is often negative in general towards one particular gender. Yeah, mostly about women. Stereotypes always give birth to injustice and discrimination organizing from a gender perspective. Yeah, and the next is violence. This is an attack or on the physical or mental integrity of a person's psychology. It can be psychological or even wait a minute. Okay, so yeah, discrimination isn't only experienced by the women. Actually, the men also feel the same with the women for some subject. Something like, for the example, this one, toxic masculinity. So, yeah, the question is, what is toxic masculinity? What do you guys know from this word, this concept, or this, yeah, this one? What is it? So you can give your opinion about this one. What do you know? I pose you. It can be a short explanation about or maybe you ever heard about this one. You can say that. You can share your opinion. Maybe it can be anything. So we already got some participants. So yeah, I placed you, brother or sister. Sorry,
Thank you.
Brad.
Mr. Cikoningir is raise his hands, Miss.
Yeah, you. I placed you.
Okay, well, thanks for the opportunity, Miss Miss Mahadevi. Yeah, regarding to the toxic masculinity, I think it seems like the behavior of men that tend to be a women in the certain condition that they feel yeah, perhaps the inequality of gender regarding to men itself. For example, like how we call bencong in English. How we can, because in the point of view, in the social environment that the man is, the man has the responsibility to get a work, and also when he is young, so they prefer to get a job. But especially in Indonesia, jobs likes a competition. The higher education you get, so the white collar of work you will gain. And for the poor people, especially young generation of men, and they don't have the opportunity or effeminate. Oh, yeah, they don't have the opportunity to get a job, especially in the better salary that they can fulfill their necessity. So they tend to be a woman to get the pity of the people, because you can imagine if there is the young man and ask a money in front of your house, and the people will say, you are still young, why don't you get a job, or you can look for a job, whatever is it, you can take like brown color work like coolie or worker. But if they tend to be a woman, like effeminate, so they will give you a money for that. So that is the gender equality. In the other side, the women will say this unfair because the all opportunity of job will be delivered for the men, but unfortunately the men still struggle to get a job. In the other hand, there is skeptical that in relationship, the men will utilize their money for the girlfriend, right? So to get money, perhaps in the wrong way, in the wrong way, you can be a woman, and your partner or your boyfriend will fulfill your necessity when you are dating, like perhaps Lucinta Luna. They tend to be a women for in this occasion. Yeah, so that is the toxic masculinity, because our environment, especially Indonesia, they look at men as a strong, as the person that can do anything in the to fulfill their necessity. But unfortunately, the opportunity like job field is far to be enough in our societies. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And then let's move to the next speaker. Brother Ahmad, I place you.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. I'm not quite practical and master in the terms of gender anyway, but in my opinion, it's only in my opinion. Maybe if I'm not false, yeah. If I false, yeah, yeah. Maybe I'm stupid. In my opinion, the masculinity here. Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Crazy.
Mbak Devi, can you mute Nahla? Mute Nahla.
Oh, Miss Nahla. Thank you.
Mr. Ahmad Fatullah, you can continue.
Yeah, thank you for this question. Sometimes not we, maybe just me as a male, have a little pressure because I am a male. Seems like I must be a Superman. So I don't allow to tear in front of people, and maybe I cannot express my expression when I frustrated. So I try to don't show my emotion that appear in my heart in front of people, particularly in the women. And yeah, because of this paradigm, it could be a toxic in the life of a male. I mean, it's me as a male, yeah. If you don't feel the same, yeah, it doesn't matter because you know that I'm not quite practical here. So the terminology of toxic masculinity could be reversed as what I mentioned before. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, you said you're not expert at this topic, I mean. Well, so am I. I'm not really sure about my understanding about this one. I just know I just do this with my little understanding about it. So yeah, we are learning together right now. Maybe you know more than me. So yeah, let's share our knowledge. Okay, let's continue to the next speaker. And then Brother Alexander, I please you.
Yeah, to be frank, I'm also studying here. We are here on the same boat. We are studying together. In regards to toxic masculinity, I guess it's like behavior imposed by the environment in which you need to behave in certain conditions. For example, men should behave like this, a woman should behave like this. Regarding men, for example, they should behave like men. What I mean by that is that men can't cry, for example. A woman or men cannot tell their stories to their friends, for example. If you do that, which means that you are not a man. So instead, you are a girl, for example. So when boys or men in general feel the feel sad, for example, they are not allowed to cry. Even they are not allowed to tell their stories to their friends, especially their relatives, because when you do that, that's not the social conditions want you to behave like that. Therefore, it's kind of hard in certain conditions in which men cannot express their feelings. It could give a bad impact toward the man, I guess. So instead of following a toxic masculinity, I guess we need to tell our stories. For example, if you would like to tell your stories to your friends, just do that. Don't let the environment or certain conditions define yourself to behave in certain ways. Therefore, you are you. You don't need to be other persons to be either good or bad person. On the other hand, another thing that I would like to say is that I guess this toxic masculinity is created by a social condition in which it is actually related to rule in the family, in my opinion. where a man should be a head of a family. They need to be stronger than others, than women, than their wives, for example. They need to be they need to seek the likelihood or their families. Hence, men in general are forced to be stronger, to be tougher than a woman, I guess. So yeah, it has more something to do with social conditions. It doesn't emerge by itself, but it's created actually by social contractions imposed by our current system. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then, I think the roles in toxic masculinity concept is, you know, pretty freak, I guess, because, men cannot cry, but why? Men are human too. And then we were born with tears. Why can we cry? Just something like that. And then uh, I already found some articles about this. And for the examples of this toxic masculinity, is what you guys already talk about. Uh, Telling another person who is showing emotion to man up, and in other words, to hide that emotion. It's with men cannot cry, something like that. And this example illustrates how some people view emotion or feeling as unmanly, something. And another common example is the saying, boys will be boys. This is really common, right? This expression advocates for careless, aggressive, or otherwise damaging behavior in a young males, rather than teaching them about responsibility and owning up to their mistakes. It's really popular in everywhere. I mean, around the world, like boys will be boys, but girls will be women, something like that. But I think it's because when a bad boy make mistake, and then all the girls are scared, something like that. But not all the men are same, but all the girls are scared, already scared about their actions, something like that. So this is a part of generalization. That's my opinion. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna share my PowerPoint again. Um, Wait a minute, it's still on process.
Hujan deras dibarengi angin bertimbun pada pirang-pirang ombak dan desa Sukonowo, Kecamatan Gunung Lawang, Kabupaten Malang rusak. Malah pirang-pirang kue kerupuk pada anak sendiri di sekolahan. Untungnya ono korban jiwa tetapi yang iki petugas BPBD di RI Kabupaten
Sorry guys, can you see the PowerPoint? Does it move? No.
It's still in a toxic masculinity slide.
Wait. Oh, by the way, it's not familiar with me because actually I never used a Zoom for a long time because I used to use Microsoft Teams. So yeah. So this is just a definition about toxic masculinity and all the stereotypes about it. So this is the expectation. Wait, sorry. Wait a minute. Okay, sorry guys for the distraction. And then, so this is the harmful concept of masculinity. So this is what we already talked about, that man is, known well as with strength and lack of emotion, self-sufficiency, dominance, and many others. And then according to the traditional toxic masculinity, a male who doesn't display enough of these traits, all of them like strength, lack of emotion, and then crying or something like that. So they are considered as unmanly. So may fall short of being a real man. So they are called not men, maybe something like that, unmanly. And then next. Sorry guys, I don't know what's wrong with my PowerPoint. It doesn't move.
Can you move to me and click the share screen? Yeah, change my name, become the host, and I will drag the share screen.
Wait. I cannot even close the share screen. Wait a minute. Okay, next, brother. Next, please. Okay. So this is the imbalance that happen in a person because of toxic masculinity. So the aggression, sexual aggression or control, showing no emotion or expressing emotions, and many others. And next, please. So this is the next question. So what issues can toxic masculinity cause? So anybody wants to answer? This is the effect of toxic masculinity, guys. What is that? We can say that in a short way or in some points, maybe just say some effects. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I please you, Brother Ahmad.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. I suppose the people who get the impact from these will be crazy. Yeah, they will be crazy and they will go to the what the crazy people in the hospital. Yeah, with them because they have the mental illness because the depression or yeah because of the depression that they keep in their hearts is not expressed or yeah and maybe they can go to suicide because of hurt or maybe suicide because of this condition. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else wants to answer? Just feel free, guys, to say something.
Can I?
Yeah, please.
All right.
Yeah, please.
I've said several issues before regarding this issue about masculinity. So I would like to say one point regarding a household. When men actually are being or they're feeling or they need to be more men or stronger than others, especially their wives, I guess they don't let their partners work in certain conditions because they think that the only or the first responsibility that they have is getting a job. So instead of letting their partner work, they would like to restrict their partner's responsibility to get their or her or their own job. So instead, he only wants to look for his livelihood or their livelihood by himself. So he doesn't want to let his partner to work. I guess it's very hard, right? Especially in this difficult situation in which only a man in a family, for example, tries to look for some jobs. I guess it's kind of harder than one. So you can actually both work, right, to make your household responsibility easier than before. I guess it's okay to let your partner work in certain conditions to support your livelihood um, in your family, for example. Easier to feel your livelihood. Moreover, if you have um, children already, for example, it can be better and easier to fulfill your family's need in certain conditions if you let your partner work in this situation. That's what I think.
Okay, thank you so much. And then let's move to the next speaker, Brother Eka. Let's move to the next speaker, Eka. Yes, you.
Okay. Maybe I'll start with what happens with women first. If a lot of men become toxic masculinity, first of all, of course, women will don't have any chance to show themselves in public sector. We as a man, if we are toxic masculinity, will prevent them to coming into the politics of or economic sector in public sector, for example. The second one, of course, we will develop a mental issue for women. For example, we of course toxic masculinity will become as a strongest human ever. We have to do the work. We have to do the earn money for living. We have to do etc. 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 And then women is just have to to how to say to work at home, to be just at the kitchen or etc. etc. And then the third one will be how to say tidak menguntungkan, will be because we don't have any different idea in politics. For example, if we made a regulation, we don't have the perspective from women, right? So I think will be miss something in our regulation. For example, like economic sector in omnibus law, because there's a lot of women that provide an idea in there, or we develop pornography law that we miss a lot of gender perspective in there. So I think women will suffer a lot when a lot of men still in toxic masculinity room. And then and then after that, maybe we can see that in my perspective as men, when we are in toxic masculinity, we also suffer, because like we see, if you want to be a real man, you don't you shouldn't cry. You have to work, you have to be strong, you have to have six pack, you have to talk very structured, very logical, very cohesive, for example, like that. So I think we also suffer because that toxic masculinity that we have. So I think why I learned feminism is because I see that a lot of men suffer from toxic masculinity, and I get interest idea. You see that when I'm trying to explain about feminism, about the idea of injustice of women, I talk a lot by data. I talk a lot by my logic. It's different when you listen Miss Mijo the T-Rex. When she talk about injustice, she talk from their self. She talk from herself, right? It's different. That's why men actually cannot understand the mystery from women. And I think I got interesting tonight when I discover the way I explain about feminism or injustice of women, and Miss Mijo explained her injustice. And I think toxic masculinity also made a lot of men suffer. And I think this country cannot move forward because a lot of men is a toxic masculinity. They have to control everything. They have to provide everything, and they have to, how to say it, like go to the gym, have the six pack or have the muscle, right? And I think that's the problem that toxic masculinity can cause us in this situation. I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. Um, like what I've already said that we can share our point of view. We can you cannot say anything from the fact. You can say or share your personal opinion. It's really okay. So yeah, let's continue. So I please brother Sudandi first, who hasn't spoken before. Okay, I please you.
Okay, thank you very much. What issues can toxic masculinity cause? Okay, according to me, I will talk about both of them, women and men. For the first thing, it can be happen because the person is not grateful to their self. That is the first thing why it can be happen. Yeah, when you are not grateful with yourself, you will looking for something is like bad or good for you. And for the first thing, when you feel and when you don't feel grateful with yourself, you will you will you will not be satisfied with your life, and you want to get dominance in your surroundings, and then you're looking for you are looking for some troubles, so the people can evaluate you and you are the bad person or something like that, or you want to get the famous one or anything else. And then if you are not grateful with yourself, yeah, you can get satisfied. It's like maybe you wanna try to make something new. I think that is the core of what I explained when I explained. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. This is the first time I deliver my how to say it, deliver my statement. That's why I'm really nervous right now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good job, brother. And then okay, the next speaker, I please you, brother Sunshine.
I like to criticize or probably analyze the statement that has been explained before by Mr. Reka. When he said about women wants to be protected or women wants to be stronger than men. I like to say that sometimes maybe women just prefer to be treated that way. And that should not help men escaping from toxic masculinity. And sometimes I believe that toxic masculinity itself is something good. How come? Because we can kill actually toxic with a toxic. So not every toxic is a toxic, because sometimes something bitter, painful, something bad. There's no something like truly bad. There must be some benefits that we can gain from that. So I'm just afraid this kind of toxic masculinity will be the only way to regain the value that men only have. Okay, for example, like men tend to be like more masculine, and just because so many people, so many society bring up this kind of topic, it becomes the very reason for them to become weak, to become more feminine, to become how to say less funding or having less spirit to find money, for example. I'm afraid that this kind of paradigm will also help negatively stereotyping the society. I mean, like it reconstruct the society belief. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but I don't really I'm not really into this kind of thing. I think that's all that I can say. Thank you.
Well, okay, thank you. So we are talking about toxic masculinity, but you can say that you are agree with you agree with this one or not really. Okay, okay, do share your opinion. And then uh that's a new
Can
slide,
I?
please, brother. Oh, anybody else want to
Yeah,
answer?
yeah. I just want to respond to the previous statement.
Okay, I proceed.
Well, the problem is toxic masculinity is that, in my opinion, it's deeply rooted in our society. It doesn't emerge by itself. Men want to be more masculine. It's because of first, like media, for example, creates or movies, sinetron. How to say that in English? Drama, for example. They built our thinking, right? In regards to how to become man, how to become woman, for example, they create how we should behave. Secondly, it's about advertisement, for example, in which there's a lot of perfume advertisements that shows beautiful women are like this, while a handsome women are like this. So when common people do not behave or be similar like that, sometimes some of them are sad or anxious regarding their current situations. For instance, if I don't be like a Korean man or a Korean girl, I will be more insecure, for example, surrounding my friends who are more beautiful and handsome. So it's actually created by either our social environments or social media, families even, and our cultures. That's what I thought. What I think.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So we only have 30 minutes left. So please move the slide, brother. So this is what you guys already talked about. You can read by yourself. Next, please. And after talking about the discrimination that experienced by the man, let's move to the girls. Yeah, something that experienced by the girls. I mean mostly. So this is catcalling and victim blaming. So yeah, wait a minute. So sorry. Okay, for the next question. So what do you guys know from catcalling and victim blaming? So you can answer one of them or the two both. And for the participants who haven't spoken before, let's just feel free. Okay, because we are learning together right now. I'm learning, you're learning right now, we are learning together. So don't be afraid to practice your English because this discussion, I guess it's intended to practice our speaking skill, right? So just speak. Come on. So what do you guys know from catcalling and victim blaming? Can be short explanation or anything. Come on, guys. Come on. Oh, good job. Okay. Okay, brother Bagus Dwi, I place you.
Okay, thank you for the occasion, Miss Devi. Maybe in my opinion, catcalling is about when there is a woman walk in front of man, and in maybe in my place, the man just call the woman, but in aim to tease her. It is like um, they they call they call the women, but the aim is not to call, but the aim is to seduce the women. And maybe that's what I know about catcalling. And I think catcalling is not appropriate for women because in my opinion seems like they don't respect the women because they just uh maybe in their perspective they see women uh as a not as a human, but I think catcalling is just not appropriate to do because of course they all have name and we have to call women by their name, whether it's women or it is a man. We have to call them by their name, and we cannot just catcalling them because it is not appropriate in my perspective. And about the victim blaming, I think victim blaming is about when someone got some accident, like maybe they got sexual harassment, and then the people just the people that do it the sexual harassment, maybe they just blame the victim because maybe the victim wear inappropriate appearance, inappropriate fashion, inappropriate clothes, and it makes the how to say it makes the subject, the criminal that do the sexual harassment, want to do it. So maybe that's what I know about victim blaming. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the next speaker, please, Sister Chikoning or brother. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Miss Devi. Okay. Regarding to this term, catcalling and victim blaming, I think there is the relationship between the two terms of this. The first is catcalling. It's really often occurred in street harassment, perhaps, because it seems like there are some girl utilize like the dress we can call as you can see, and several boys will call by the dirty word perhaps to tease them. And for this situation, victim blaming regarding to when you are a victim of raping and there is not the evidence that you are a victim, because in the law should be there are two witness or one witness, I forgot about that, when you are victim of the raping. But if the accident or the condition happen in the motel perhaps and no one there, you only only you and with the what's that, tersangka, how we say that in English, I forget as well. Yeah, and suspect. There is a victim and only a suspect, so there is not the witness for that, so you can be a blaming in the police as name as pencemaran nama baik. I forget about that. Yeah, so that is there is the relation for this. And regarding to this issue, several feminists said that don't blame our dress, but blame your dirty mind. But when it comes, it's really controversy because what we see, what you dress, and what we think, because what we experience about that. So the pornography content perhaps can create the dirty mind of the people. In result, they can be a catcalling when they see something inappropriate dress, what they watch or what they have seen in their experience. So for this occasion, there are several well for if we come back to the regulation of a religion, that we should dress well for certain religion to close the dirty mind of the people. But in the other hand, we face the modernization era that fulfill the human right as a pillar for our humanity. So let's talk about this, guys, because what's wrong, dirty mind or the cloth that you wear? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Before we go to somebody who has raised their hand, so I'm going to invite the participant who hasn't spoken or hasn't delivered their opinion. So, Mr. or Brother Ridwan, I place you to give your opinion about catcalling or victim blaming.
Well, okay. Good evening, everyone. Okay, in my opinion, catcalling or victim blaming. Yeah. Talking about catcalling, I guess every boys or every man's ever did it. And for the victim blaming, yeah, I'm not sure about that. But for me, that's natural for catcalling. So we try to get the attraction from the girl. Yeah, for victim blaming. Yeah, I think only that. Miss, can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much
All
for
right.
sharing your opinion. And the next, Sister Mijo, I place you.
thank you for the time. Previous speakers have said from Mr. Berg on the chat box maybe. I think catcalling is not actually not happen only for the women. I often see in the society when maybe when I was in the cafe or somewhere, I often see that woman is also catcalling the boys. Like they are saying some things that is lead to the lead to what is that like menggoda, like something like ah ganteng like that.
Persuade.
Yes, I think that like that. And I think the catcalling itself, it is something that is actually Nora. What is Nora? Tacky. That is something that is tacky. Uh, and I think it's still okay if the victim still feel comfortable with it. Like maybe somebody feel like it is pujian. What is pujian? Sometimes they feel like that. Like, but for some people that feels uncomfortable with it, I think the catcalling itself become bad. And then for the victim blaming, the previous speakers, who is that? Mr. Chikoneng Ilir, he have said that uh, we should blame the women because of their clothes, but I think I disagree with his statement. Why? Because in my opinion, it is okay if you have uh, sexual interest with others, but please respect them. Like if you say about uh, a clothes that is fully cover your body, it doesn't mean that the woman will stop the catcalling if you using the clothes that is cover up your all of your body. It's the catcalling will still be exist because I think every people have like different fetish, like whatever you wear, whatever you do, the catcalling will still be exist. So the thing is we should keep something in our mind. Like if we have the sexual interest, so just keep it in your mind. Don't don't make others feel uncomfortable. That's all from me. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And then I don't know, I saw someone who raised hand before. Uh Miss Rein. Yeah, is it right?
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I please you to give your statement.
Thank you, Miss Dewi, for the opportunity. Uh, in my opinion, I think catcalling it happens in everywhere, especially in a public place. So we are as the women, we must keep ourselves and also for catcalling, I really agree with Miss Miju last time. It's not only the men but also the women. They do it. It's like what is it? We can say there is no something to say. If they recognize us, it's okay. They can call, but if they don't recognize us, it's like something useless. Yes, this if catcalling. So this action is is inappropriate for us. And for victim blaming, yeah, we can know it it's not only about our appearance. Sometimes after the accident or such as like someone who gets a problem, and if we put ourselves in their shoes, of course we don't want to feel it, because if we are blamed by someone, we always feel it's like we are loser, or actually they can support us, not about blaming, I think. Thank you, Miss Dewi.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think so. When a catcalling comes from strangers, I think it becomes, vexing and yeah, annoying because we don't even know them and they directly just say something inappropriate. Yeah, and then sorry. I saw someone who has raised hand before. Brother Sudandi, you want to say something? Wait, no.
Hello.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Okay, Miss. I just wanna add a little bit statement for the all speakers. Okay, for the some of speakers have told the statement their own statement, and on this time I just want to add some information or some statements. The how to overcome it. I mean the catcalling or what is that? Victim blaming. Okay, we just keep okay for the overcome for the how to overcome it. We just keep our our habit. I mean good habit. So that this problem, I mean catcalling and victim blaming, can cannot be happen in our life. And then catcalling, catcalling and victim blaming will always happen if you don't get is like education in school or in surroundings or in the people or the rules and something like that. So you have to know yourself first. You have to know yourself first, and then if you have the bad one is like you used to do catcalling or victim blaming. So you have to ask someone or you have to ask someone or yeah, you have to ask someone to how to say evaluate you. Yeah, evaluate you, because when you evaluate yourself you can get the weakness, I mean the your your unprofit or something like that. Yeah, like that. And then so you must look for your friends who can evaluate you, so your friends can know you what is your weakness, and then they can how to say it? Yeah, they can told you and they can tell you and you can change your habit or your activity. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then the last speaker, I place you, Frederica. Oh.
Okay, thank you, Miss Madevi. Maybe this is my closing statement. So I think all the speakers already talk about catcalling and victim blaming from their perspective, and I think I agree with all of them. But what I want to say that actually catcalling is fine when we don't have when we don't cross the line. For example, when after we do the calling, and then we do the rape or we do something sexual harassment, for example. And I have an experience when there is a seminar about feminism and woman protection. and the speaker was really on fire when she said about why men cannot stop mock them with because of their small boobs, for example. Like, and I told them that why do you care about what people say to you? For example, if you have a sex partner and his penis just 10 centimeter, for example, do you want to accept that or what? So I think this is the problem of our feminism movement, because they're just only talk about injustice from their perspective, but forget that feminism is trying to dismantle the patriarchy system. And I think that's a problem in our society. And victim blaming also because happen because of our society structure. For example, there's always woman's fault because of her dress, because of her the way they walk, or etc etc. And then I think also it happens when we wants to try to make people understand that that's the problem in our social relation. That's why when we want to talk about gender equality, we have to learn about feminism. When we learn about feminism, we don't have to be male feminists. We just have to understand about feminism, because when I try to be a male feminist, that also the patriarchy system that trying to bother the movement. So I think catcalling, victim blaming is came from the social culture. When I never heard about women trying to defend women that mock their male friends, for example. So I think we have to move, or we have to improve our capacity to see injustice, to see something that how to say a bigger problem or bigger issue that happen in our social relation. Because when I talk about gender equality, when I talk about feminism in other words, we already talk about regulation. We already talk about social culture, how we recreate our social relation between men and women, or other gender, for example. And I think this is the problem. So I think I'm the one who always admire how women dress, because it can how to say it, like it show uh, about yourself. When we go to big city, that we see that people uh, how to say it, like follow the fashion, and really proud the way they wear something. And I think as long as woman feel they're proud, they're happy to dress with their self, I think it's fine for me. But the problem is sometimes maybe man is like man is like the time bomb waktu that cannot control their mouth or their emotional sexual emotional to really how to say to make a comment on something that how to say it, like something crossed on their eyes, for example. So I think the problem about catcalling and victim blaming is come from the social culture, and it has to stop when we want to move forward as a good society. Maybe that's from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then the last speaker, the very last speaker for this question, brother, I bless you.
All right, thank you so much for the opportunity given to me. Yeah, I do agree with the previous speakers saying that these two conditions are things that cannot be taken for granted. We need to we need to fight them. We need to tackle this situation. First of all, if we see the situation, we need to find the root problems of the situation, in which some people have mentioned that this is caused by social contractions, by our environments. Therefore, we need to create another good environment that can protect both genders. I mean, people who are oppressed by sexisms, in which it is problem related to genders, where they are valued by what genders they have, either male or female. Instead, we cannot value people from their genders, but their skills, right? Their knowledge, their insights, their capacity in doing something. So we cannot value people from their genders, because it's actually related to sexism, which is bad in Indonesia, that I think still exists today. Secondly, another thing that we can do is that fighting back, of course. When we experience this situation, we need to fight back. Either you are a male or a female. When you are dealt with a catcalling situation, you need to fight back. I have several friends who have experienced this. Most of them are women, and they, you know, they were angry when they faced the situation. Even they ask the men who called them, or who called them directly without any permission to them, they fought back, and I think it's a good condition to emulate. Thirdly, we need to educate people regarding our problems in our society related to catcalling, victim blaming, sexual abuse, etc. By making several discussion like this, or involving in OTAS discussion related to gender issues, for example, in the hope that we can spread awareness to the people. Simply, we can conduct, or we are not allowed to do this situation. When we see, for example, our friends conduct these bad things, we need to ban them in doing things, and share the awareness about the bad situations made or created by these two conditions. That's, I think, what is important to do in our surroundings. Thank you so much, Miss Moderator.
Okay, thank you. So we already talked about many things about gender issues in around the world, include catcalling, victim blaming, subordination, sexual harassment, and many others. Well, actually, this discussion is not intended to attract you all guys to be a feminist. No, it's not. So it's just to educate we all that and increase our awareness of the importance of respecting the role of each individual in each term without arguing about gender. Well, yeah, it's not about a man or a woman. Because, well, actually, being women is not easy, but being men is hard too. So, as a human being, let's just try to always be respectful to each other. That's all, I think. So yeah, I think that's all. And thank you so much for your insightful answer, guys. And then, okay, and then I'm so sorry for being awkward. Sorry for being not prepared well. Because, like what I've said, this is my really first time, and thank you so much for your help to guide this discussion session tonight. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'm so sorry for my mistakes. I do apologize for all of them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Today we have discussed about entitled topic with which is lead by Miss Devi, and I give the several grammar errors or grammar errors and some vocabularies is like women's. It should be woman. Jadi women's itu kalau singular berarti woman tanpa s, tapi kalau jamak berarti women. It depends. Karena itu adalah subject singular, jadi it should be it depends on. And emerge muncul, and tadi Mr. Cikoneng, Banci atau bencong, it can be effeminate or fancy. And last time I found can't be happened. Can't be happened. Jadi tidak bisa terjadi karena happen itu adalah verb, cannot happen or can't happen. Expression, pencemaran nama baik. Compliment, pujian. It show tadi juga it itu sebagai verb. It itu sebagai subject singular. It should be it shows. And effeminate ya sama. Time tadi menggoda. Okay, last time that I got several grammar errors that we can study it. We can evaluate our speaking or our grammatical. It can be better for the next discussion, and I have shown that we can do this activity. We can enhance our speaking today, our point of view about everything. A lot we know everything, a lot we don't know anything. Before we close, and let's we do we will take a picture together. Okay, I please you to open your microphone. Open your camera. All of the participants who wants to dedicate your handsome face or beautiful face, I please you, Mr. Alexander, Miss Azi, Miss Devi, Miss Ray, Miss Japan.
Kalau nggak usah di suratnya.
Miss Azi, don't you want? Miss Ray? Okay, let me count it till 100. 100. Okay, until 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, finished? Once more. Miss. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, finished. Okay, thank you very much. Before I close, when I say OTA community, you can say yesterday, say tomorrow. OTA community.
Yesterday, say
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for attending this meeting.
Thank you,
Assalamualaikum
everyone.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Eka, Mr. Ridwan.
Thank you, Miss Devi, Mr. Kun.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, guys.
Assalamualaikum.
Halo, Miss Eka. Waalaikumsalam.
Let press couple here, Mr. Ko.
Thank you, my role model, Mr. Hu.
Dari cewek mulu.
I'm waiting for your opinion, Miss Az.